Imagine basketball without dunks. It's like baseball without home runs, or hockey without fights. In other words, it sucks. But dunks weren't always a part of the game. It's difficult to pinpoint the exact moment they became a part of basketball, but history takes us back to a stage set by Nazi Germany in a time when dunks were so frightening that Japan tried to ban tall players altogether. The dunk is one of the most exciting plays in sports. Children around the globe grow up imitating the players who dunk the best. You're probably saying to yourself, I get it. Of course dunks are fucking awesome. But who dunked first? Why won't anyone tell me who dunked first? You're welcome. The evolution of the dunk has many beginnings. The most recent being in July of 2002, when Lisa Leslie became the first player to dunk in the WNBA. At 6'5", Leslie was more than 5 inches taller than her average WNBA counterpart. What makes it so momentous is that it never happened again. Ever. That's not true. But it would be 3 years before there's another WNBA dunk, courtesy of, you guessed it, Lisa Leslie. The first person to dunk in any type of situation was Jack Engas in 1910, but he dunked in probably the least impressive way possible. Back then, basketball barely resembled today's game. Courts were in a cage, backboards were rare, and there was no out of bounds. So Jack climbed up the cage alongside the basket, and when his teammate passed him the ball, he simply dropped it in. No flash, no excitement, and the only air he got was the light wind that licked the inside of his highly exposed thighs. Satisfied? Me neither. The first dunk needs a big crowd and an even bigger stage. The man who most credit with the first dunk in an organized game is Joe Fortenberry. This pasty sack of limbs was born in Happy, Texas, where arms and legs give birth to basketball players who play in Converse bowling shoes. He took his unique layup, as people called it, from a YMCA in New York City to the Berlin Olympics. Fortenberry, center for the US basketball team in 1936, started garnering attention during the trial games leading up to the Olympics. So much so that the New York Times sent reporter Arthur Daly to cover a game being played on the west side of New York City. It was here that Daly witnessed Fortenberry's warm-up layups, which he described as like a cafeteria customer dunking a roll in coffee. Daly's description was a major influence in coining the term dunk. Basketball would never be the same. The stage was set. The US was headed to Germany with a secret weapon. Joe f***ing Fortenberry. Basketball dunker. The 1936 Berlin Olympics will always be remembered for Jesse Owens' defiant feat of athletic mastery. But following an opening ceremonies that featured an alarming amount of Nazis, a Hindenburg flyover, and 25,000 frightened pigeons shitting all over the attendees, basketball was quietly making its first appearance as an Olympic sport. At this point, Fortenberry's dunking ability was already causing a stir. Japan was calling for all players above the height of 6'5" to be banned from international play, and America was cruising to the gold medal game. The US won their first round matchup by forfeit. Their opponent, Spain, never showed up. They were busy with the Spanish Civil War. Great excuse, and the US made easy work of Estonia, the Philippines, and Mexico, setting up a gold medal game against our enemy to the north, Canada. The final game was played outside in the rain on a slippery clay tennis court, which sounds epic, but those are horrific basketball conditions. The final score was 19-8, 19 points to 8 points. The US wins the first ever Olympic gold medal for basketball, and the medal is awarded by James Naismith, the inventor of basketball himself. There was no game-defining moment when Fortenberry lifted off and took down the Third Reich with one gigantic slam, but part of his game involved jumping up and dropping the ball in from above the rim. So history awarded him first dunker. Was he actually the first? It's not completely clear, but we do know that Fortenberry dunked America to a gold medal on Hitler's home turf before we even knew what a dunk was. Boom, shaka, laka. Right.
What?